Welcome to the Filmcast review about a Minecraft movie. I'm going to read the plot summary of this film from IMDb, or the internet. A mysterious portal pulls four misfits into the overworld, a bizarre cubic wonderland that thrives on imagination. To get back home, they'll have to master the terrain while embarking on a magical quest with an unexpected crafter named Steve. Jeff Kanata, you host a video game podcast. Let's go to you for the review first this week. What did you think of a Minecraft movie?
Well, Dave, I guess you could say what I thought of a Minecraft movie is best summed up in the form of a limerick.
Oh, let's hear it, Jeff.
I took my son to be polite, never thinking I'd find delight, but I should have guessed that with Jared Hess, it's Minepolian craftomite. As Devindra said, this is the Napoleon Dynamite sequel that I've been looking for. 2004, let me take you back. 2004, Napoleon Dynamite comes out. It hit at a really wonderful time in my life. It became a movie that I absolutely fell in love with.
But also the entire country didn't, we still don't understand why. Why did that become such a widespread phenomenon?
Well, I think we just don't get movies like this anymore. There was a time when there were these like scrappy little independent comedies that would come out and would take over the world. I'm talking like Clerks, Swingers, Bottle Rocket. There's a lot of examples of like Welcome to the Dollhouse. Those kind of movies.
Sundance movies that could break out, Little Miss Sunshine and, things like that.
Sure. That was
and they
a
make
little
$100 million.
Yes. Right. But they were like some group of people that you'd never heard of. They were just first time filmmakers that would just put this ridiculous, goofy thing on screen and it would somehow strike a chord, become these cult classics, and Napoleon Dynamite just, I loved it. I was actually dating a Mormon girl at the time. This is famously made by Mormons. And it was just like our movie. We loved this movie. And I thought, oh my God, here we go. It's going to be like Bottle Rocket, where everything now that filmmaker does, I'm going to love. And then Gentlemen Broncos, and then Nacho Libre.
I like Nacho Libre. Yeah.
They never, it didn't recapture the magic. Jared Hess and his wife, it just was like, Napoleon Dynamite was so great. Why can't we? In fact, I'm actually surprised there wasn't a real Napoleon Dynamite 2. I'm sure they threw money at him to make it, but they never did. And but now, finally, shocker of all shockers, the movie that comes closest to the joy I had watching Napoleon Dynamite is the least likely of them, a Minecraft movie. What? This movie is so much more fun than it has any right to be. I had a blast with Napoleon. Now, listen, I went into Minecraft with the lowest of expectations, as I'm sure we all did. It felt like a crass cash in. It felt like it was going to be, full of just like green screened garbage. It wasn't, the trailer kind of made it look weird and grotesque in a certain way. And I thought, this is, my son's probably going to love it in the way that he loves the Sonic movies and I find them tedious, or the way he loves, however many other, dumb things. I was shocked at how much fun I was having, how many laughs I had, just cackling out loud. And it channels the thing that I think Napoleon Dynamite channeled, which is this sort of reverent love of the goofiest parts of 80s culture, right? In a lot of ways, it kind of mirrors or is the inverse of what I was talking about with Freaky Tales, right? It's like, this is what I love about kind of goofy, almost supernatural nostalgia for the 80s is, it's like, it's arcade culture. It's larger than life, almost classic WWF culture. It's Saturday morning cartoons and breakfast cereals. And somehow that works in a Minecraft movie. I don't know where the genius, I think it's just the sensibilities of these filmmakers. It's Jared Hess and his team who like that's just their sensibility, and they're like, you know what? If I'm going to make a Minecraft movie, I'm just going to infuse it with all the things that I find funny. And there's a lot of funny in this movie. Jason Momoa is great. Jack Black is great. Jennifer Coolidge in this movie is like peak Coolidge. She's so funny. All of her scenes are so funny. You know, does it succumb to a third act need to just get into action-y territory and kind of give the kids what they want? Yes. Is that a bummer? Yes. Does it detract from what is otherwise, I think, a really kind of goofy, fun romp? Not too much. And I think it has its cake and eats it too a bit. And I guess my expectations were so low, and the fact that I was going to be seeing this probably multiple times when it eventually arrives at home. You know, I'm going to be seeing this on.
You're emotionally bracing yourself for that now.
Yeah. But now it's like, no, I'm going to laugh again at this. I'm going to laugh every time I watch it. And, you know, it's such a gift to parents that this movie isn't excruciating, right? That this movie isn't boring or listless or uninspired. It actually is inspired. It actually has kind of a fun message about creativity, and it's got enough great bits and great moments that, like, I really think if you're going to be yanked there by your kids who, you know, every kid on the planet loves Minecraft, you're actually going to probably have a good time. And I'm so happy to be able to say that.
Devindra Hardor, I'm really curious what you thought of a Minecraft movie.
Yeah, I mean, my headline for my Engadget review was basically, it's good, actually. Like, I think it is a lot of fun. I don't know if I love it as much as you, Jeff, but it is a lot of fun. I went to a press screening. I brought my daughter Sophia to it, and just full house of Minecraft kids, but also teens and adults who are really into the game. I was never much of a Minecraft player. I just never really had the time to devote to it. But my daughter somehow like really has started to latch onto it, and I'm learning from her. I'm playing with her. She's building worlds. I'm joining in and helping her out, but she is teaching me about that. I expected that to happen when she was like a teenager, but no, she's 6 years old and she's telling me how this game works. And the movie, I think, is a lot of fun. Like, it does bring a lot of those Napoleon Dynamite sensibilities in there. It also has the sort of like, okay, we got to have a greater plot. You know, we have to have some dumb villain. Like, we have to do the mechanics of what a video game adaptation has to do. But I feel like they kind of glide past that pretty quickly. What really powers a movie for me is just Jack Black in like classic Jack Black mode. I guess he is sort of a required person to have for your video game movie now. Like, he's not in Sonic yet, but who knows? That'll change. That could change easily.
It's his energy. Like,
it's his energy.
So much energy. Yeah.
And this movie opens with like, it just like sets the tone immediately. It's his voice in the trailer is basically like, I'm not taking any of this seriously. I wanted to be a miner when I was a kid. I dreamt I longed for the mines. And like, he's just really silly. And I remember the age of like peak Jack Black and Tenacious D. And I really like Napoleon Dynamite, Nacho Libre, the second movie that Jared Hess made, which was co-written by Mike White, by the way, too. Like, there's a lot of heart to that movie, but Jack Black just has a lot of fun being a luchador, and I kind of miss that. So he is great. I don't know what the command to Jason Momoa was, but there's something about that guy that I think is just really funny, but also like really charming, because like, you got to be comfortable with your masculinity.
Yes.
So like, really, to do this, to play a character who's wearing a hot pink jacket, being kind of a jackass, but
he
also
plays kind of a similar character in Fast 10 as well.
Yeah.
Similar to Fast 10. Like, he is just letting his personality out there, but also in a way that I think is really like culturally transgressive against what you'd expect a macho guy to do. So I can appreciate that too. Like, he is also funny and a lot of fun. I wish the other characters had more to do. Like, there's the brother and the sister, kind of nothing. Danielle Brooks just kind of appears as part of the group. She is funny, but the kids don't really get much to do, unfortunately. But it's the other stuff. It's Jennifer Coolidge. It is the villager plot line. Like, all of that, like, just really funny stuff that reminds me a lot of Napoleon Dynamite. I laugh about the gym instructor in this movie, who is very much a Napoleon Dynamite character.
Yeah,
weird little quirky comedy. I'm kind of happy this movie isn't a completely like safe experience like the Super Mario Brothers movie was.
Yeah,
which that was fine. I had a lot of fun with it. that movie was so on rails where it never felt like anybody had room to breathe or like have like an actual genuine personality in it. Whereas this movie, I think, really thrives on personality. So yeah, it's a lot of it's contrived. The plot mechanics are not explained. You're expected to know some Minecraft stuff kind of going in. If you're an adult going into this with no prior Minecraft experience, I'm sure this movie is probably excruciating to you, as we'll probably hear from Dave. But I think for the core audience and the people like tangentially related to the core audience, and if you just like quirky little comedies, like this movie is surprisingly funny and surprisingly like it feels like it has an independent voice even while it's doing the Minecraft thing. It doesn't get to the heights of something like the Lego movie, which has pretty much the same creative message, but hey, it's kind of similar. My daughter had a really good time, and I just kept laughing. Like this, even when I thought the movie was done, there's a little bit after the credits we'll talk about, cackled at that little
there's
reveal.
like
So
a voice cameo
yes.
at the end that is so perfect.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Just perfect. So I had a lot of fun with this. Let's hear how much Dave hated it.
Yeah, I need to check my calendar to see where I received a head injury, because I can't believe what I'm hearing.
It was
from
the point where
the
your
people on
heart
this
died
podcast.
and your soul escaped your body. It was that point.
I really appreciated Chris Rudd, aka Kit Laser, from the Streaming Things podcast review of this film on Letterboxd, in which he writes in quotations, "Dude, it's a kids movie. They're going to love it." And to which he responds, "Well, yeah, my dog loves eating shit, but I'd be an asshole if I fed it to him." End quote. This movie.
That's fair. That's a fair thing to say.
This movie is bad. I found it to be an assault on my senses and incredibly unpleasant to watch. And I found there to be very little redeeming value to it. I will say one thing that I did appreciate about this film is that it commits to its aesthetic. Now, that is not an aesthetic that I enjoy or found pleasant in any way.
I agree.
But
The Minecraft aesthetic in this movie is actually ugly, and I wish they had went more blocky and more pixelated. You know.
But it's something. It's an ethos, and even though like it's not for me, like I appreciate that it's like, hey, what if everything in the Minecraft world was made of like physical things like in the real world that you and I recognize? And that's kind of like an interesting thing. And for the most part, when you see like the vistas behind them and all this, it's like, oh wow, this feels like someone actually put a lot of thought into this world and how it would look and feel. And again, it's not a look and feel for me. It's not something that I would enjoy or even recommend. But it is an aesthetic, and so like that's out there, and you see that aesthetic and how it plays out, and like here's what like piglins would look like, and here's what the villain looks like, and it's like, oh, okay, like I kind of like that. It just like it feels like fully realized and thought out, and so like I have to give the movie props for that. I think the thing that I don't like about this film is
everything else.
Pretty much everything else. I think that like. It's essentially like there's no need to do any of the things that you would typically do in a film, right? Like things like character development or exposition or explaining anything. And that's fine for people, especially if you're like into Minecraft, you don't care about any of that stuff, but it just feels like this kind of AI generated extremely generic plot that is actually an insult to the idea of creativity that it espouses. So I really didn't like this movie. It's probably my least favorite film of 2025 so far. And I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, but it was not for me. So
see, the thing is, you only have to watch it once, by the way.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
with your nephew, you'll get to see it again.
You have no idea. You
You
have
don't
no
know.
idea how much worse it could have been, Dave.
It could be so much worse.
This is a freaking ray of sunshine.
Yep.
Compared to fucking 400 hours of Peppa Pig that I watch a week.
I mean, I cannot dispute that. So anyway, those are some of my overall thoughts.
I did want to say that I think it's a testament to how much of a goddamn force that Jack Black is.
Yeah.
That they didn't force him to shave his beard. Like he is so important to them, and he has so much sway that I bet no one even asked.
Yeah.
But the fact that he has this ridiculous beard in this movie is insane. Like that.
Why do you say that, Jeff? Yeah, go ahead. Because doesn't the character Steve have like a goatee or something in the game, right?
No.
He plays an older version of Steve, right?
I
He
see.
plays Steve of the game, has been in the game for however many years, according to the movie, right?
Very Jumanji here, actually.
Yes,
yeah.
total Jumanji. I mean, this is very Jumanji, inspired. But it's just
I'm reading on Wikipedia. His face is sometimes adorned with a goatee.
Well, that's not what I would describe Jack Black's face as at all.
No, that's true. That's true. But I'm just saying, it's not like Steve has like no facial hair ever.
The point is that it is a ridiculous beard
yes.
that no one seems to be mentioning in Hollywood, that is ridiculous for this big movie star to have. And they keep letting him have it in every movie because he's a friggin' movie star whose movies make billions of dollars. And I think it's hilarious. I feel like it's a prank he's playing on everyone of like, you know what? Cast me as Steve. I'm going to keep this. Cast me as whoever. I'm going to keep this. Like, it's crazy. Very funny to me.
All right, let's do a few spoilers for Minecraft starting right now. I do think that there were too many characters in this film, and it feels like you guys agree with that, right? Like,
sure. Yeah.
I don't think they really needed to have that whole group of people. There are too many arcs, and very few of them, I think, actually turned out in a satisfying way.
Yeah. I like Danielle Brooks. She's a mobile zoo operator / realtor.
Yeah.
Her dream is to open the zoo, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just goofy.
Yeah.
Very goofy.
For goofy's sake, I think.
But everybody has their own dreams. It's about following your creative dreams.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Dave? What dreams have you followed in your lifetime?
It's so true. I hate dreams. Any thoughts on the ending? You guys, you want to give away the
plot? Who cares?
Who cares?
We just barrel through it. Whatever. I wish it amounted to more. I wish it was more interesting. That's something the Lego movie did perfectly, right? Like, I think every aspect of that movie builds upon itself to be really genius.
Yeah.
We had to do a stupid Minecraft plot, so we get this in there, and Jared Hess is like, what about the stuff outside of the plot? And I think that's more interesting. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I think the whole third act is pretty bad as far as, just needing to do this, needing to have big action sequences and sort of doing the requirement. But I feel like, a lot of the stuff that I think is legitimate complaint about this movie is like, it feels like the medicine to make the sugar go down, or the sugar to make the medicine go down, whichever direction you happen to believe, is that, like, in order for Jared Hess to get this movie on the screen, he had to do certain things. And yes, did that make the movie worse? Indeed it does. But does he get to sneak in enough goofy, weird, funny stuff?
Yeah. Can I have Jennifer Coolidge be a weird, horny vice principal in a kids movie? Yes. Okay. That's funny.
Hilarious.
Didn't hate that part. I did enjoy Jennifer Coolidge doing whatever she's doing in this film. So
and the villager, that villager is just like, hapless. Just it says a lot. It says a lot about, like, the men in her life, how this silent creature is better than the alternatives she's had.
I gotta say, I also appreciated the villain voice acting job in this movie. Malgosha, the character, is played by, I believe, Rachel House. And I thought she did a wonderful job. And I thought, like, all the stuff about, like, killing characters, they kind of turn into their, like, component parts. That was, like, a really cool, like, oh, that's a very clever way of, like, I know that's from the game, but it's like, oh, it makes it less horrifying when, like, all these people are dying at the end, right? And so I appreciated, some components of the movie in that way.
And Jared Hess does the voice of General Chungus, which is hilarious and, against type, right? He's this, hulking, scary pig thing, and he's talking like that. It's like, it's very funny. And
that's funny. That's funny.
But I feel like that's the whole vibe of the Napoleon Dynamite, Jared Hess kind of way of thinking.
And guys, let me just tell you, I wasn't a big fan of Napoleon Dynamite.
Well,
that's
there
another
you go.
thing too. It's
I mean,
it's
of
like,
course,
and it's like, it's fun in, like, small doses for me. Like, I like, a little bit of that, but a whole movie, then plus how busy this movie is, it just was not for me. So.
I am a huge fan of absurd comedy, absurd humor, and this movie, like, is absurd. And
This is a Barb and Star go to,
Yes.
Minecraft movie,
Yes.
basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another movie that I wasn't a huge fan of, right? So
Right.
it's just kind of like it's a
Yes.
vibe kind of thing, right? It's like I wasn't
100%.
vibing with this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's Flight of the Conchords. It's it's all of that. Like
They're in this movie.
Yeah,
by
both
the
of
way.
them.
Yeah. Brett McKenzie was the on-set performer for The Villager. That's hilarious.
Yep. So it is a bunch of things. It's the sensibility of a bunch of things that I absolutely adore, stuck onto this thing where it shouldn't have any of those sensibilities.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
just delighted that could happen.
This should not exist in this form. Like a Minecraft movie was. You look at all the writers credited to this movie. It's too many people because this movie has gone through like 3 or 4 different iterations. At one point, the It's Always Sunny guy was going to do it too. Like he had his own, spin on it. But then you watch this thing. I kept laughing throughout, and then cherry on top at the end, post credits. Matt Berry's The Villager.
Just brilliant.
Brilliant.
I think Devindra, you were so right to compare it to the Super Mario movie because that to me is like the exact opposite end of the spectrum and is exactly what I was expecting this movie to be, which is just a 90-minute long commercial and is lifeless and just serving you up what you can get anywhere else. It serves you up what you already have. It's just regurgitating images from the game with no personality, no identity, no take. It's just like, hey, look, you remember this? It's member berries, right? It's like, hey, look, it's Mario Kart. Hey, look, there's Donkey Kong. Hey, look, it's just there's no take. There's no creativity. And at least Minecraft is like, hey, we're going to give you all the imagery. We're going to give you the references that the kids are going to eat up and point at and be excited about. You're going to get, you're going to get the crafting table. You're going to get the sword. You're going to get the diamond armor, all that stuff. It's going to be in there. But also we're sort of secretly putting in some fun other things. We have actual ideas. We have other comedic sensibilities to infuse in here. And so is the movie excellent? It is not. It's just so much more than I expected. So much more alive than I expected.
It's interesting. I don't think either of those films have much artistic value, but I think at least, it would be like going to a party and a Super Mario Brothers movie is the quiet person standing in the corner of the room that's not making much of an impression on anyone. And a Minecraft movie is the person screaming directly in your face every 30 seconds.
I would say the exact opposite.
I don't enjoy. I don't enjoy either of those people particularly, but I'm
the Mario Brothers movie was the host that always is trying too hard to make sure everybody's happy, and then you're just like, guy, just chill out, just unbutton your top button and relax for a bit, and that's how I felt in that movie. And this was like, maybe they don't have the beer you like, maybe they don't have all the food ready in time. Like this is a messy party, but I maybe have more fun at the Minecraft party.
This is the host that decides to greet me by kicking me in the shins. I think we should always review movies via analogies to partygoers, by the way. Let's just do that.
Because we know you will leave.
Yeah, Jeff, get in here. Get in here.
I think, it's not going to be partygoers. This is a party. I think this is, and maybe you haven't had this experience. Maybe you have, Dave. But this is, you have to go to the kid's birthday party.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You're going to have to go to the kid's birthday party. You don't want to go to the kid's birthday party. You expect the kid's birthday party to be boring and banal. And then all of a sudden,
bounce house or something.
All of a sudden, they bring out sushi. And you're like, sushi at a kid's birthday party? Freaking amazing. I did not expect sushi. I thought we were going to get cheese pizza without even any toppings, because that's what we always get at kids' birthday parties. And they brought out sushi.
I would accept that analogy if it was sushi burritos, which is like,
I'll take a sushi burrito.
I'll take a sushi burrito.
Enjoyable for some people, but it's like it's a polarizing choice. Is what I'm saying.
At least it's a choice.
I'll take a sushi burrito over bland cheese pizza that tastes like cardboard.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I accept this analogy. So if you're into sushi burritos, Actually, I think that's true. If you're
I
into
freaking love a
sushi
sushi
burritos,
burrito.
you're probably
all
gonna
right.
like a Minecraft movie.
But it is a kids party that is more enjoyable than you expect it to be. And sometimes that's the truth. Like sometimes I dread going to these things and like, oh, I have a good conversation with these people I don't normally get to sit down and talk with. So yeah.
Any other thoughts on a Minecraft movie, guys?
Hey, I love the little shout out to Technoblade. Like there's a bit of a reference in there. He's a Minecraft streamer who passed away a couple years ago, and like the movie gives him some love. And my entire crowd just like, said something. They reacted to the pig with the crown appearing on, and that was beautiful.
I will say I saw one of the first public screenings of this film, and it was packed. And many of the kids there was a lot of kids in the audience, and many of them were saying lines to the screen in unison, which I guess were like memes that emerged from the trailer, which it was just honestly a hallucinatory experience. Cause I'm like, this is not like Rocky Horror Picture Show. This is not a movie that has been in existence.
This is their
for
Rocky
decades.
Horror Picture Show.
But it's like even like literally I was like Thursday, like 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. or whatever it was. And they already knew a bunch of lines from the movie, presumably from the trailer.
Yes.
Which is just, on the one hand, like there's actually been issues. Like people are talking online about how the kids are being very disruptive and upsetting to other kids who are in the audience sometimes, throwing things, which I cannot endorse. Sure. And so it's a real double-edged sword because on the one hand, like I can't condone awful behavior in theaters. On the other hand, we need children to go to the movie theaters if we want movies to survive.
We need their parents to go buy concessions. But also, if we're going to have somebody was going to make a Minecraft movie, right? Like this thing, you cannot stop this. This is very much it's not even the Kool-Aid movie from the studio, right? This is just like, it's such a huge franchise. Somebody was going to make it. The fact that it's something with even like a hint of personality, I think is kind of special.
Miraculous. Also, another thing I was really expecting, there's a lot of CG in this movie, no doubt, but I was expecting it to be a movie shot on the volume that was going to feel like that. And they actually built a lot of this stuff. There's actually physical cubular sets that they were interacting with. And I got to hand it to them that they actually did it to a large extent. Like the movie, the movie doesn't look awful. I mean, you can quibble with the aesthetic, which is a taste issue, and I totally understand it could be off-putting. But from a sort of like, how bad this movie could have looked, I think.
I mean, I just gotta say, I disagree with Jeff completely. Like, I think it does look bad in many
back
respects.
To Quantumania, where it felt like nothing existed. These people were on a flat plane where no physical objects were around.
It is slightly better than Quantumania. I agree, but it still looks like it was shot on the volume. Like it looks like it was shot on the volume. Like they use sets in The Mandalorian as well. Like it's not. It looks like it's very clearly shot in the volume.
But the volume looks good on The Mandalorian. Like,
what was interesting, I heard, was they couldn't use green screens because there's so much green in the movie, so they had to like do a different path for that. But anyway, all that said, guys, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Not for me, and I assume that our audience will find it to be also somewhat polarizing. But there are some redeeming characteristics to it, and we've talked about many of them, and I actually agree with you guys about a bunch of them. So check it out. It's a Minecraft movie, and at the end of the day, it's really impressive that Jared Hess made a movie. Thank you so much for watching this video of the Filmcast. Check out these other videos that we have available, and be sure to hit like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to get other videos from us in the future.
You can also go to thefilmcast.com to catch all of our audio podcast versions of all of our episodes.
And support this podcast at patreon.com/filmpodcast, where you can sign up for ad-free episodes and exclusive After Darks.
Thanks so much to everyone who makes the Filmcast possible.